everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome again to another painting tutorial. Today is the last day of August, at least here in the United States, and I decided to paint something that, I can paint forever. This is a subject that I know I can paint forever. I can paint it multiple times a day. I can paint it nonstop and I can paint it in different ways. So I'll be doing the very first subject that I did. I'm not going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to do the same subject, and that is a seascape, okay, which has waves and foams and everything, movement, water, and everything that I like about seascapes. I'm using a 12 by 16 inch canvas board. You can definitely use another canvas size and material that you want to paint on. It's just my preference for tutorial purposes. I could have used a bigger canvas for personal purposes, but for tutorial purposes, we're using a smaller one. And the colors that I'll be mentioning will be listed in the description box below. So if you've noticed my tutorials on seascape paintings, I'm using, if not always all the time, the same color palette because, we're just painting waters. So if you would like to compare, you can see the colors that I'm using on the description box of each painting tutorial. So for this painting, we have a burnt sienna, titanium white, cerulean blue, primary yellow, and sap green. So the colors, I've already prepared them on my palette, but you can definitely use other brands. It doesn't have to be a particular brand. Okay, so I'm gonna sketch first where things are gonna go so that you know how to proportion your canvas. So again, I'm using a 12 by 16 canvas board. So I'm going to identify first where the sun is gonna go. So for the burnt sienna, you can lighten those. You can lighten that color to get light brown and lightest brown. Okay, you can definitely use ready to use light brown or a lighter brown. But if you don't have those colors, you simply mix your burnt sienna with white, adjust it according to the amount of white that you're going to the, what do you call it, to the value of brown that you need. Meaning, if you need a lighter brown, just add more white. And if you want the lightest one, just, add more white as necessary. Okay? So I think I'm talking too much. As I mentioned, I'm going to sketch first the subject so that you know where things are going to go. And I'll be using my cerulean blue, okay, to identify first where the wave is going to start. It's like 1/4 of my canvas board. Right. This is just a sketch, okay? So above this line will be like foams and water, okay? And then I'm going to use again my cerulean blue so that I know where this water is going to end. So it's basically the middle section of my canvas board. You don't have to be super accurate on this one. We are painting water. This is only for presentation purposes. You can adjust the water, what they call the level of waves that you want for your own painting. Okay. But I suggest that you follow me first before you decide to create your own, especially for those beginners. All right, and then I'm gonna get my burnt sienna so that we know exactly where the brownie colors are gonna go. I'm gonna add a little more water to that. Just to let you know where the sand part is. Okay. I might add a little bit of violet to this. Okay. Now I'm going to get my lightest brown. Okay, remember that we have this brown. Oh, I forgot, we'll be using a little bit of black, but maybe just a tiny bit. We are not going to use too much of black today, but I always use black in every type of painting that I do. So I definitely will use black. It will only differ as to the amount of black that I'm using or I'll be using. So I'm using my lightest brown here for the sand part. I'll be adding a little bit of yellow. Okay, again, this step is very preliminary to what we want for this painting. This is not the actual color that I actually want for this painting. It's just, underpainting it, basically. Okay, and now, you know what? I categorize this painting as very easy, super easy. And I chose this subject for an evening type of session simply because I don't want to tire myself so much and I just want to enjoy the process. I'm going to get my Cerulean Blue and mix it with my Sap Green. I would like to get a more of turquoise color. Okay. And I'll be adding a little bit of yellow. Okay, let's try this one out. Okay, this is more green than blue. I'll be adding more Cerulean Blue right here. Again, we're just trying to underpaint it, the dark colors first before we move on to lighten it, okay? Don't worry. This is very preliminary. And more of turquoise color right here. Okay. You see, I'm not really doing my brush strokes in any particular direction. I'm just brushing it. I'm brushing this area. I'm gonna get my white, okay? Without washing my brush, let me just check the positioning. Okay. So I'm just gonna use white on my already painted brush, meaning I did not wash it. And I'm just gonna allow that colors to mix right here. You can paint now over that horizon line that we did. Okay, I don't know what is that noise. Why do they have to make that noise this time of the night? Right? Sorry, guys. What is that? I find it so rude. Sorry. Okay. Again, please paint over the horizon line that we did here. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing right here. Again, you don't have to wash your brush. Allow the colors to mix while your paintbrush is still wet. If it's starting to dry out, you can definitely wet your paintbrush, but just enjoy this very loose painting style. It's very loose, actually. And I kind of miss, painting seascapes. Okay. Now I'm gonna use still my white, but I'm trying to reach this higher area here. I'm gonna touch on this part. You try to make some blending and try to be soft with your brush strokes. You don't want to do strict lines for now. Just try to be more soft. I'm gonna move my palette. All right, just like that. And I'm gonna make I'm gonna touch on this area, the sand part. This is very preliminary. We'll be using our palette knife here actually. But we want to start first with the brush. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, I'm not washing my brush, okay? But I'm gonna get some light blue color. And we're going to paint the topmost portion of the canvas. And just paint this area with some light blue, super light blue. You almost can't see it. We just want this area painted, but we don't want it to be super obvious. Right? Like that. Okay, try to remove the horizon line that we did. We don't need that anymore. Okay. All right. We need some more of the turquoise color. And definitely I will use my hand. Okay. If you're not a fan of finger painting, this video might not be for you, but I suggest that you somehow connect with your painting by trying to touch it. I'm gonna get a little bit of yellow right here. Okay. We want to make this area a little light. Okay, like that. I'm gonna wash my brush out. This area is still wet. I cannot really apply my bluish, like turquoise colors very well, simply because it's still wet. But I'm gonna have to wait for that to dry a bit. Okay. I'm gonna make some. I'm gonna try it again. So just touch on some areas. Mm. I'm just gonna darken even more. I'm gonna add burnt sienna to my blue and green to get some darker shade of turquoise. And we're gonna use that below the, the wave. Just darken on that. And just darken. I just mix with some blue. You want to darken right under that wave because that's perspective, and we want to make our painting more 3D. Okay? That makes sense. Okay. Okay, like that. Okay. Now I'm gonna get my palette knife, and it doesn't matter what palette knife you use. Okay, you can use a plastic knife. You can use that, and we'll be grabbing our white, titanium white. Okay. I'll be adding a little bit of blue to that. We don't want to use some pure white at the moment. Okay. So I'm going to use the back of my palette knife right here, and I'm going to start like making some round um, what do you call this? Palette knife strokes. Okay, what is that? Let me just fix that one. So just allow the palette knife to create the patterns for you, but just move in this direction. Okay, like that. Now try to move your palette knife like up and down like this. Okay. Yeah, like that. Okay. And now, okay, we're going to get a cleaner brush. Okay. But the brush that I'll be using is really stiff, okay, really old. It has become stiff because it is old. Okay, now I'm gonna use this dry old brush to do some more waves, and I'm just gonna get the light or the white mixed with a little bit of blue that we used earlier, and I'm gonna touch on this area slightly, making some sort of water splashes without actually covering the whole wave. Okay, and also some taps like that. I'm gonna get my white and blue. I'm gonna start creating some waves. So sorry, some foams down here. I told you I'll be using a little bit of purple. Okay, we'll be doing that later. Now I'm just using some tapping motion. Also right here. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of blue. We want some sort of blue color, even if it's not that obvious. Okay, right here on the sand part. It's very subtle actually. But since we're painting waters, they should look like they're one connected. Um, they're one and connected and coherent. Okay. I might not use anymore some purple because my cerulean blue mixed with white appears to me like it's light purple. So I don't need to get purple like this. Again, this is just cerulean blue mixed with tiny bit of white. Okay. Let me just check how it looks like from the camera view. All right. Okay, I'm gonna apply a bit of bluish colors right here. Okay. Now I can't help it. I'm just gonna use my black because I'm just used to using my black. I cannot dispense with my black. Okay. Now I'm gonna use my burnt sienna mixed with black. Okay, I'm gonna start adding some sort of dark brown spots on the sand part. If it mixes with the water, it's fine. You know, sand actually mixes with the water. So applying it to your painting will just make your painting more realistic looking or realistic. I'm not really doing some brush strokes here. I'm just tapping, like I'm blotting like that, and I'm just allowing my fingers to do the job. Okay, like that. Blot. This will give us unevenness on the sand part. Right. Now I'm going to mix with my light brown and yellow. Let's try to add some light colors. Okay, I think I've applied too much right here, but it's fine. We're just going to make some sort of adjustment. Mhm. Right, like that. Okay, now let's use our palette knife again. Okay, I'm gonna dab onto my white. I'm gonna add a little bit of black to that so that we get some sort of gray color. And of course, my black is super, super strong. So I might have to use more white just to adjust the color. And we'll be using again the back of the palette knife to create some foams. Don't get too much paint because it might, prevent you from actually creating some foam patterns. Okay. Sorry. Okay, like this. Now I'm gonna get my pure white, but it's not super pure actually because of the presence of other colors on my palette knife. But most dominantly, it's pure white. Okay, this. Okay, I'm gonna apply same color right here. You can extend after that part so that you give your wave some sort of movement. Okay, now I'm gonna get my turquoise green. We already have that color. And then we're going to use that as well. Applying, especially the middle section right here that you see. I call it the middle section. Middle because it's between the wave and where the like the silent part of the wave is. You can use your hand, don't worry. Like that. And I'm just gonna make some sort of adjustment. Remember, I cannot apply the paint quite nicely over here. Simply because it's still wet, but now it's a little bit dry. Okay, I'm just gonna wet my brush and tap. Just like what we did um, on some areas. Just tap so that the color appears more natural. My canvas just keeps on moving. Okay. Like that. Some more depth. Okay. Let me check. This is very abstract. Gonna get my palette knife. Oops. Okay, there is some sort of green, but it's fine. Gonna get a small brush so that I can touch on some areas. Let's create some details, okay, on the wave patterns. Yeah, like that. And also down here. Don't forget, Just check. Okay, this looks nice. I love it. Okay, and I want to get my brownish colors. Gonna add a little bit of black to tone down the color. Maybe add white. Let's gray a little bit down here. You want to add some muted colors. Okay, like that. I love it. I love it. But we want to soften it. I'm just enjoying this. I'm gonna add light green right here. So I'm just adding some white to my green, maybe a little bit of yellow. Okay, and let's go right here in between. Okay. Try to blend so that it appears more natural. Okay. Maybe more white. Okay. Like that. And cerulean blue plus white. You just want some light blue going on. I'm adding more water than usual because we are painting water. So water just makes sense. Adding more water just makes sense. And want to add like blue colors in between the waves, or sorry, in between or inside the foams. Oops. Okay, I accidentally like dragged the green color. It's fine. Okay. Just make the sand more foamy by just applying some white. Just drag your brush, along the sand part using white, and you'll create that. And then using some more dark brown colors, apply it. Here. Like that. Let me just fix this one because I think I let's add some more foams right there. Like that. I love it. Okay, now I want to get my fan brush. Okay, so without wetting my fan brush, I'm just going to dab onto my gray color. We already had that earlier. And I'm just going to apply some sort of movement, okay, in the waters, like tiny splashes. Like that. Again, I did not wet my fan brush. Just continue playing with it until you're okay with it. Like this. I'm gonna water it down now, okay? And simply just glide, water down white, okay? On the sand part, just to make it really, really coherent. Okay? We want this to be more of one picture, more than separate picture or separate pictures of the wave, the sand, and um, the foams. We want it to be whole. So try to glaze it with some watered down white. It helps. Okay? It helps. Let me just check. Great. Okay, I want to add some greenish colors. Like that. Let me check. Okay, I love it. I'm just gonna get my blue. We're in the final step or final stage. Right. So applying more white. Okay. All right. Okay, we don't want to forget some negative spacing, inside the wave. We don't want to forget that because that's part of the wave. Okay. Let me check. Okay, I love it. Okay, I'm gonna sign this now. I kind of like it. It's very simple. I'm gonna use my black to sign this. I'm gonna sign right here. Okay. And I think we're finished. Yay! So I hope you like this one. It's very nice. I like it because I love seascapes. So I hope you enjoy this one. I hope you paint along with me. If you like this painting, let me know in the comment section below. If you're painting along with me, let me know in the comment section below. And see you in my next one. Bye, guys. Love you.